Right, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I've been in contact with somebody this morning who's given me a bit of an update on what's going on with the consultant that I've been seeing, consultant neurologist that I've been seeing. The appointment was very strange the last time I saw her. I'm out of breath. I've been running around getting tripod and stuff just to make this, because I'm going somewhere later on and I need to clear my head a little bit before I go out. I'm afraid I'll get really sick because I'm upset. So the first two appointments with her seemed to be relatively okay, but that was before the solicitor sent a letter to her asking her for my notes for my court case. So the last time I went in, she came at me like it was dreadful. And when I lost my speech, after I had lost my speech, and I had prepared so carefully with Stuart in case it had happened, because it was happening on a daily basis at that stage, and I was really struggling at the time. So if I was having conversations with people, if somebody asked me some questions, even simple questions, I'd lose the ability to talk and I needed to rest, and it'd usually take about 10 minutes before I could come back, and everything needed to be really quiet and easy, and I couldn't basically have a conversation with people, even simple conversations. So I'd lose the ability to talk, and it looked like I was having a stroke to people. And when I was away on the last trip, I was in a shop when it happened, and the girl was freaking out, and she was going, "I ring an ambulance," and I was going, no. I was afraid I'd end up in hospital because God knows what, they wouldn't be able to figure me out. And I knew if I rested and stayed really, really quiet, hydrated, and all the usual stuff, that I'd eventually come around. But then my ability to walk afterwards, and my left leg would go and stuff, and I'd have to be really, really careful and not exert myself too much and all that kind of thing. So I kind of got used to it, and I was really deteriorating. So I had arranged with my advanced nurse practitioner to go in and speak to her, and maybe she'd have something to say about it and be able to help me, whatever. So when I arrived in, I was expecting her to be like she had been before. I had prepared carefully with Stuart that if I did lose my ability to talk, he'd be able to ask the questions and speak for me or whatever. So she came at me, and she was really nasty, and it was dreadful. So I'd spoken to the ANP beforehand, and she's so nice. She's lovely. I had brought her a little gift, and I brought the receptionist a little gift. She's so nice as well. And I had gotten a bit of my faith back in the medical system because of those two people. They had been so nice. And the consultant didn't know anything about the 4-week wait. It was like it hadn't even registered that the other two people had been appealing to her. She didn't know about it. She'd taken no notice of me. She didn't know anything about me. So I couldn't understand this. I was quite surprised that she didn't react when I said something about the stress of the 4 weeks had been really, really hard, when I was afraid I might die, you know. 4 weeks? So that kind of surprised me. So my ANP obviously didn't even register on her radar, or I didn't register on her radar, now I think of it, you know, in hindsight. So anyway, she came at me and came at me and came at me. And when I was losing, I said, "I'm going now," you know, explaining I'm losing my speech. And Stuart tried to come in. She said, "No, Stuart, no. Etna has to do it. No, make Etna do it. Make Etna do it." And she was really at me. And of course I was gone then, and I couldn't. And then she threw in this thing of psychological. I got so upset. I mean, I worked in mental health. That means that it was all in my head, that I had some control over this. So I was really upset. It was like it was overriding the fact that I needed to rest to come back, and she's implying I'm in control of this. Oh, I was so upset. And I started gathering up my stuff. I wanted to get out of there. I wanted to leave. And Stuart talked me down. He was going, no, wait. So the usual, so I was trying to wait, but I mean, I'm supposed to be calm and stress-free for the 10 minutes for it to come back. And I was so upset. I couldn't believe this woman in front of me was implying that this was my fault, that I was in some way in control of this. Oh, my brain. I'll never forget how I felt. She was saying to me that this was my fault. Oh, I was in bed. I forget how I felt. Anyway, eventually things start coming back. And Stuart was there. The A&P was there. Joan just sat there and stared at me for the whole time. She stared at me. I don't even know what was going on around me. And then Stuart said, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes." I don't even know what happened in the conversation. I have no idea what happened. I don't know what the rest of the conversation was. Some conversation happened. I don't even know. I don't remember. My head was gone. My brain was not working. I didn't know what was happening. Somewhere along this, in the conversation that's happened, I don't know. I said something when we started. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I managed to get the words out of psychosomatic, and she said, no, I didn't say that. She denied it. She denied it that she said, no, I'm not saying you control this. She denied it. She kind of backtracked, denied it. Then she mentioned FND, and I was going, oh, okay. She denied saying it was psychological, but she had said the word psychological. Anyway, I'm going into more detail in this. It's so hard. That day was so hard. I've somewhere to go later on. Here's me with more PTSD. Anyway, I'm sidetracking off into something. It took me over a week to recover from that appointment. I was so sick afterwards. Anyway, when she said FND, she said, Dr. Aoife Laughlin, there's a service there. And I went, oh, okay, I have something. There's a name. Okay, great. Okay, there's something. I have something on my notes that will say more than fucking migraine, because that's what they're saying. I've got migraine. 3 years on, all I have is migraine. Fucking hell, like. Migraine. That implies a couple of tablets. You might have to go into a dark room for a while. Migraine. You know? Fucking migraine. Anyway. She said a few other things as well. I can't even go into it because I shouldn't be doing this before I go out somewhere. Anyway, what I found out today is that this FND thing and Dr. Aoife Laughlin, the only way you can tap into her service is if you agree that this whole thing is all in your mind. So I don't have a diagnosis and I don't have a neurologist anymore. It seems that the neurologist that I've been seeing doesn't believe in vaccine injury. She actually says that people like me hear stories from anti-vaxxers and they manufacture all this in their heads. So according to her, I've made all this up. I've made it up by hearing stories from people on the internet, anti-vaxxers, making up stories on the internet, and it's all in my fucking head. That's what she said about people like me. And that's why she attacked me that day. Because as far as she's concerned, I've made all this fucking well up. And that Dr. Aoife Laughlin, that I was delighted I was going to be seeing somebody that might help me, she believes the same. And this neurologist that I've been seeing is seeing loads and loads of people since the rollout of the vaccinations, and it's all in their heads as well. And some of them have ended up in wheelchairs, and it's all in their heads. Right, so this bitch needs to be taken fucking down.